Geologic time encompasses the history of the Earth. It's been compiled from strata all over the planet, and it starts with the present. It starts with the present and goes back to the beginning of the Earth, which was some 4.6 billion years ago. The youngest part of geologic time is called the Holocene, and the Holocene belongs to the last era of geologic time, which is called the Cenozoic era. The Cenozoic era is made up of 6 subdivisions beside the Holocene. The Pleistocene, which predates the Holocene, then the Pliocene, the Miocene, the Oligocene, the Eocene, and the Paleocene. That's 6 plus the Holocene. That constitutes the Cenozoic era, the age of mammals. The Cenozoic is separated from the Mesozoic era by a sudden change in the fossil record, a sudden change in life with the demise of a lot of life forms such as dinosaurs and ammonites. And the geologic era, eras are the big chunks of time. The geologic era that predates the Cenozoic is the Mesozoic era. The Mesozoic is made up of 3 subdivisions, which are called periods, the youngest of which is the Cretaceous. The middle one is the Jurassic period of Jurassic Park. The oldest period of the Mesozoic era is the Triassic period. The Mesozoic era is preceded by the Paleozoic era. The Paleozoic era is made up of 7 subdivisions, which again, like those of the Mesozoic, are called periods. The youngest period of the Paleozoic is the Permian period. The end of the Permian is again a period of mass extinction, a period when 90+% of the life forms of the Paleozoic era went extinct. You have, okay, the Permian period. Before that, and strata, which of course are older than the Permian, directly lying below it is the Pennsylvanian. Below that is the Mississippian period, which in Europe are called the Carboniferous. Below the Mississippian period is the Devonian period. And older than the Devonian and its strata, of course, underlying the strata of the Devonian, is the Silurian period. And older than the Silurian period is the Ordovician period. And older than the Ordovician period is the Cambrian period. The Cambrian is the first period of the Paleozoic era. It marks the period when fossils become abundant in the fossil record. Fossils are pretty rare in rocks underneath those of Cambrian age, or hence older than Cambrian age. And until some 30 years ago, there was question as to whether there really were fossils in strata of pre-Cambrian age. Pre-Cambrian meaning, of course, older than the Cambrian. The Precambrian constitutes some 80%. Get that, people? 80% of Earth history. Most of the history of the planet has been within the Precambrian period of time, what is sometimes called the Precambrian eon. The Precambrian is divided into 2 eras, the younger of which is called the Proterozoic, and the older one is the Archean, or sometimes called the Archeozoic. The Archean period ends about 2.5 million years ago, which is of course when the Proterozoic begins, and the Proterozoic ends about 570 million years ago, which begins the Cambrian period. The Archean era begins about 4 billion years ago. It begins with the oldest rock records on the Earth, and those are about 4 billion years old. Time earlier than the Archean era is sometimes referred to as pre-geologic time. a part of the history of the Earth where we really don't have a record. The record of pre-geologic time that is older than 4 billion years is much better represented on the Moon and other planets of the inner solar system. But the oldest records that we have on the Earth that we know of are 4 billion years ago. The Earth is about 4.6 billion years ago. Time that predates the formation of the Earth is generally called cosmic time. And it indicates that span of time which existed before the Earth itself was formed along with the other planets. And cosmic time goes back to what is called the Big Bang, which some believe to have been some 18 billion years ago, which is when the universe itself was formed.